the story is, like a few years ago, my wife and I wrote a kid's book. This is that kid's book. I can't find the first page. Here it is. And I illustrated it. Not this. This was just like a sketch. And then I hated the illustrations. I was so embarrassed. This was when I first started drawing. I think they're really good for what they are. I don't think they're professional level kids book illustration. Oh, did it just start? Okay. Hey. I'm Chris. We're doing kids book illustration. My wife and I wrote a kids book years ago. I illustrated it. I was sad when I saw it a few years later. This is at the beginning of my illustration journey. So when I first was learning, so I'm well versed now, and I'm going to illustrate it again. The book was lost over the last 5-6 years. I've been wanting to redo it. Anyway, but I could not find the book. I had lost the pages. And we're moving, and so in the packing process, I found some of the pages. So right now I was thinking of just going straight and working on page 2, which is this. Like most octopus families, Blub Blub's family was really good at hiding. So in my mind, this is going to be a little seascape and some hiding octopuses. I didn't get a chance to do any videoing or working today on the computer, but I did actually remember it this time. Flip a clip. So I will do it. It is on my to-do list. Nanochi, hey Elstefan. Flip a Clip is an animating program that has some of the basics. And since I'm always animating things by like uploading them to easygif.com, I thought checking out an actual program to do it is probably a good idea. So this guy is Blub Blub. He was here last time. This is what we did yesterday. And I really like it. And now I'm working on, I took some sketches today. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Thank you, everybody, for liking. That's great. So I did some sketches. We're going to do the seascape, and I don't have a phone to look at references of like the sea coral and stuff on when I'm streaming like this. So I just looked some up earlier in the day, and I am going to, I did this. So I have some here that I'm going to use. Oh, Chupa Chups. I haven't had Chupa Chups in so long. Yeah, so I just did some like sea coral stuff. This is like the shape, I guess some sea coral like grows. Am I on this camera? Yeah. Some sea coral like grows really like wide out of the ground and like kind of unsupported, because it doesn't need to be supported because it's as supported as like on land or not under the sea. So I'm going to do some sort of sea coral landscape, and then I thought I would have the octopus family. Originally, I thought I would do it where they were like really, really hidden away, but I think I'll have the octopus family kind of like, it'll be the same color, and maybe even they'll like have their tentacles doing different things, like kind of fitting in, but having them be like obviously sneakily hiding. And because at this point we haven't really explained, there's a moth. At this point we haven't really explained what like camouflage is. We're just saying they're hiding. So I think I don't want to make it like a challenge to find them. I don't think. We can always redo it later. But I think it might be more fun or more easily understood by children, if this picture book is for children, which it is, that they're just kind of like hiding regularly like this. So I'm going to get started on some seascape stuff. We're going to sketch some really rough shapes to start. And this is the shape palette we're going to be working off of. Yeah, sort of like a very, very friendly game of hide and seek. It's like if like your mom was like, "Hey, I want you kids to all show me how good you are at hiding for this picture." You don't want to like actually be hidden for the picture. You want to like be showing off your really good hiding spots by like sticking your head out or so I think that could be fun to have them like coming out different, like sidewards, like if it's here, then you could have like the octopus use its tentacle to make like the same shape and stuff like that. Like this one could have some of its tentacles being these. This would be a tentacle. This would be a tentacle. And so like it's very obvious that they're hiding. You could have one hiding behind this, and it's like tentacles kind of sticking out the bottom, and then like one eye sticking out the side. And then you like notice that, and then you'd have to do a lot of work with color, I think, to make it also look right. And you might do it over 2 pages, so you could have like one page where they're all hidden, and then the next page where they're kind of more exposed and out and like smiling. Um, but yeah, let's do the seascape. I think that's the next stage. So I kind of just sketched out some shapes of seascape stuff from coral reef and seagrass. I have some seagrass here, here, and here that I looked up earlier in the day and got some references on. And now I'm going to use that to kind of build up the to build up the seascape that I'm about to draw now. So I'll just put this. This will be right here off to the side. Okay, if I can find enough room on my little desk. All right, perfect. So, I guess I'm just going to start, like I said, with some rough shapes. Yeah, I'll definitely put some treasure. I think that's a good advice. Maybe like a sunken ship. I think like stuff like that is really good to put in this because we want it to be fun. We want it to be engaging. We want it to like seem like magic, seem like something magical, whimsical. That's exactly the word. So let's do some rough shapes. We want most of it to be sea, I think. So we'll start like 1/3 on the bottom. And we'll just kind of draw what is a horizon there. I wouldn't say specifically. McChicken. So we got that. We'll get some we'll do some of these branching ones here. We'll get these ones. They're kind of like flowers, but it's like a chicken's foot and it's made out of rock. It's an interesting animal, this coral reef, this type of the coral reef. Hi, Parker Stevens. We are doing an old kids book that my wife and I had drawn and worked on, and we lost. And when I found the illustrations, I was sad about them, and I always wanted to redo them, but we couldn't find the writing. And then I found the writing, so now we're redoing it. I'm pretty excited. Nanochi, it's CMonsterYK. It's that. It's just that. Same as my username. And so it's about a shy octopus who can't use his camouflaging very good or at all, and he's wondering if he even has to. But he's also dealing with his feeling of inadequacy, as all of his brothers and his sisters and everyone they can all use the camouflage, and they're all hiding very good. Hi, Galatita. Oh, welcome, welcome. So I just sketched some seascape stuff from earlier in the day, just some rough sketches, and I'm going to try to like build that into one cohesive seascape. Oh, it's hot. And then I'm going to have the page that we're illustrating right now. This is Blub Blub. We did Blub Blub yesterday. And that page was basically like, this is the book that we had lost and we just found. And that page was, there was once a little octopus from the deep green sparkling sea. He has 8 arms and his name was Blub Blub. Or he has, or he is, and his name is Blub Blub. And that's Blub Blub. Yep. And so now we're on page 2. And we probably won't illustrate it page for page the whole time, but his family, like most octopus families, Blub Blub's family was really good at hiding. And so this is going to be the page where we meet Blub Blub's family, and they will be hiding behind different things. And so right now we're drawing the seascape, and we will get them hiding behind things. So I think we're just doing the roughing in of some of the things that will be on this in the seascape. My motivation, well, so my motivation is twofold. I think it's complicated, just like so many things. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time. When I first started illustrating, I really wanted to do a kid's book, and my wife writes a lot of, she's written a few unpublished, but she's working on that, novels. And we spent a lot of time in high school together. We were in a creative writing course together. Creative writing is something we both really enjoy. And so I really wanted to work on a kid's book with her. I thought we could do it. I thought it would be good. She has like a lot of lessons and like wisdom that she could pass on. And I really wanted to illustrate a kid's book, like, because I wanted to be able to illustrate a kid's book. And so we tried, and then we lost it. And now we found it again. And this whole time while it was lost, I was like, man, if we could find it, I would love to have a second chance at illustrating that kid's book, because like I could do so much better now, and I would love to see my progress. And people keep telling us we should do my illustrations and your writing as kids' books. So I do think it would be great. This is not the prime motivation, but it would be really cool if people thought the kids' book was good and we could maybe put it in local bookstores or something like that. But that's not the number one. The number one is definitely to prove to myself that I can, and to have this as something in my portfolio to show, to try to get other jobs. That's my main motivation. So right now we're doing these like kind of corally, flowery, rocky things. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit more shape and detail. These are like generally pretty bright pink. No, no. Uh, at the moment, we're moving unexpectedly, and so I am in between jobs. Also, I have learned illustration, and I was trained as a graphic designer, but I have not been working in that. I've been working in the related industry of printing. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I hit you. But I'd really like to get back into graphic design or illustration, even if it has to be freelance. I think we could make that work. So I'm looking for a little bit of a career change, and it's kind of forced my hand because we're surprise moving. Surprise! Probably one of the worst surprises. But no, not retired. Lucky enough to have the time and the ability to learn illustration. Yeah, so I don't necessarily need this seascape to be super accurate. That's not necessarily the point. I would like it to more or less reflect what is actually in like a coral reef. And as we do revisions on this, because this is just the initial sketch, it's not going to be the final product or project. But as we do revisions on this, maybe I will see how close it is and if it's worth bringing it to the next level and making it closer to real life. Uh, yeah, I'm drawing a little bit of a, what is this, coral reef seascape in order to have some, ooh, my throat, and some more water. I don't know if it's allergies or what. Uh, have a place for octopuses to hide. Give me 1 second. Gee, be creepy. Oh, thank you so much, Nanochi. Yeah, I think it would be really cool. One of the best ways right now for an illustrator to get themselves out there is YouTube and other social media, but YouTube is what I'm familiar with. Oh, awesome, Burgosaurus. HTTYD. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed doing YouTube, so I will continue, and I assume, I hope, I plan on getting to 1K subs. Uh, Burgosaurus, what do you write, if you don't mind sharing? I think I'll go back in and add some more shells and stuff. I didn't plan on doing the shells. I just kind of was focusing on the coral reef when I was doing my preparatory sketches earlier. But I think that would be fun. I can just put them on the ground. I don't think we'll have the octopuses hiding in any of those. Okay. I think that's pretty good. We'll give some shadows to show what's in front of what. These things look really cool in real life. Oh, How to Train Your Dragon. Thank you, thank you. I knew I recognized it. Oh, it's so great. Yeah, it's coral. Um, I'm doing my wife and I wrote a kid's book like years ago. I illustrated it. I didn't like it. I was brand new to illustrating. We lost the book and we just found it. And the second page, we're introducing an octopus family, and they are all hiding in the coral reef. So, yeah, if I can see your avatar, Nanochi, and there should be time. We'll see how I feel after we get a little bit more of this seascape down. But I think it could be fun to draw your avatar as long as it's, um, you know, something I think I can draw, I guess. I mean, I'll give it a go anyway. I draw cartoons from memory, and I do not ever think I can draw those. So I'll give whatever. I don't mind. I don't mind not doing well. Yeah, so Burgosaurus, it's coral, and there's some seagrass, which is the natural habitats of the octopus. Well, some octopuses, but the ones that I think will also be visually appealing. Not the octopuses. The octopuses are very cartoony. They're not very realistic. But the environment that I think will be visually appealing. A lot of octopus live just like in deep water and stuff, and I thought coral reef, which they also live in, would be better suited to the story and to the medium. And we'll do some. There's like these big, like mushroomy rocks. Uh, yeah, let's do some of those. Like here, these big. There's ones that are like this and have circle, like yeah, fabs. I can try to remember that, no problem. There's ones kind of like this that have like I guess little animals live inside them, but I'm not sure. But they have little punch outs. Okay, yeah, Fabio, no problem. I'm I'm terrible at remembering stuff like that, but I will try, and I suspect I'll do okay now that I've mentioned it. But please forgive me if I forget, and just remind me I'm not doing it on purpose, and I will gladly call you whatever you prefer. Okay, we'll do some of these guys. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll do, so there's some more interesting ones I took some sketches of. I think these, like, I think these like are more branchy offy. So we can come in here and just kind of erase some of the lower branches of some of these. I think I just kind of messed up. I was thinking of them as flowers and I just kind of went with it. But yeah, here we go. That looks better. We'll have some of them like more organic looking instead of like somebody just plopped down a bunch of like a bouquet. We'll combine some of these at the bottom too. Yeah, just oh cool. We'll have that go. Oh, cool. Thank you, Atfud. Atfud posted the Discord. Velo really bad looking. Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure if I'm going to ink them. I mean, this is not going to be the final draft, but I was thinking I want to do some inking live. I have like, let me grab my pens. I have my dip pens. Well, I have a dip pen. Where's my other dip pen? I have a bunch, but there's two that are my favorite. What the heck? Well, there's one that's my favorite. Yeah, it's not time for me to be going through my stuff to find them. I wonder if I packed it up or I'm just missing it. Here it is. So I have my dip pens. I have the nib somewhere over here. And I will probably, I want to ink on stream. So I haven't inked in a couple of months. So it'll be really fun to ink on stream. Oh, hey, Allie. Hi, Spider. Spider. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing a seascape for a kid's book that I abandoned and am re-illustrating because I was a bad illustrator when I first tried. And this is page 2, where there's an octopus family hiding in the coral reef when we're meeting them. And so I am drawing some coral reef for them to hide in. And some seagrass. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's add another something. Oh, we can add these. There's these like, I'll have to figure out like something to tie these together in the background. There's these like big kind of mushroom looking like bulbous growths, I guess, that are in the coral reef. And we can have those kind of like helping to tie it together visually. I'll put those in here now. And when we color those, or when we put more detail into them. Oh yeah, love Jaden animation. We can you know, we can make them less distinct, kind of faded, or washed out, or made with like a watercolor wash. And that will help, like I said, bring it all together. We can have other stuff growing out of here, some seagrass. Yeah, Jaden animation, really cool. I think, did you recommend Peter Draws? And I was like, never heard of them. I follow them. I've heard of them. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't remember the name. Okay. So I want to add, I think, yeah, there's like this, wait, let me see. So we'll definitely have a little octopus sticking out of here. I think maybe sidewards. I think that could be cute. Kind of like, oh, you caught me. Like that. And I think we could do, and then like maybe they have a tentacle that's following along with the animations. I think I've heard them spoken about on Jaden Animations. Does that make sense? Is that something? Okay, we'll do one of these guys. How far am I? Okay. I think I've been drawing off camera. Do one of these guys. There's a type of growth that does kind of grow like that, like a bunch of grass, and it looks like a bunch of little fingers almost. I'll do the front ones first, so we can, because they'll block the back ones, and some of those are short. Yeah, I love animation. Uh, for a while, I thought I would want to do animation. Um, and like, I have some OCs and stuff, and it could be really fun to like do that part of the animating where you're drawing poses and you're making the what's it called? Where you're like storyboards, when you're doing the storyboards. That part of the animating I think could be really fun. Like I could see myself now getting a job as like a betweener, but they don't really have that job in the United States. All right, Fabs. And so like I, I don't know. It's it's not really the same job as it used to be animating. But like a showrunner or doing something like that, I don't think the field itself is bad. I think it's still very cool. Um, I think a storyboard artist would be a really fun job to work on. I think about if I should try to put a portfolio together for that. Uh, but right now, this is exactly up my wheelhouse. I illustrate mostly like greeting cards and um, prints that have like animals in hats and animals doing human-y things, but like still very much looking animal-y. And so this is just a kid's book or a picture book is just a little bit off from that, where I'm doing like a little bit more um, cartoony character. Oh, thanks so much, Elstefan. It's really coming together. Yeah, if this turns out to be better than a first draft, or if it doesn't need that much changes, I'll probably scan it in and we could do some color exploring. I'll probably do that anyway to like test out some theories and see what I like. I think it's important for me to not think that this is going to be the finished draft, because 100% I'm going to continue to make changes, even if this turns out to materially be very similar to the final product. If I think like, oh, good, this is going to be the final draft, this is so good, I wanted you to use this, then I get too precious with it, and this isn't something to be precious with. Like, just draw. For me, I just, it's more important that I don't think about it too much. All right, so in order to kind of get this to read more, we've darkened up the stuff that's in front of the other stuff. Let me just actually do that now, because I thought I did it, but looking, I think I just kind of darkened everything. So anything that is in front of something, I'm going to make the line thicker. This one, this one, this here. Okay, and now I'm going to come in and just do a little shadow. Anything behind will get a deeper shadow. Or actually right now, anything behind will get a shadow. Just basically right next to where I made things thicker, I will also give a little shadow. Okay, it's already looking more easily determined what it is. And now I will also give a directional like shadow. For me, light always comes from like here, from the top left. I think because this is the sea, I'll have the light kind of coming from here instead, a little bit more intense. Yeah. So we'll do that. And we'll just have all the, oh, we'll just have the bottoms here, the bottom lefts. You can't tell, but this is curved towards us. So that'll get some on the bottom half. This will get some here. Same, this is all on the bottom, so it'll get some, and this is on the left, so it'll get some. This is lit up, this is probably lit up, this will have some under here. This is lit up, this may be here. Yeah, alright, now that's looking pretty good. Alright, this needs to be tackled. I might just take this out. I like a lot of what's going on. Let's do some selective erasing and see if we can't make this more coherent. Oh, hey Lafayette. Welcome, welcome. So let's take out all the stems and we'll leave what are, they're not really flowers, it's coral, right? But we'll take out the stems and we'll leave what my brain has been calling flowers. And we'll see if we can kind of make it more cohesive, see what we can do to make it look better. It looks just too jumbled. So we can also come in and kind of clean up some of the sketch lines. That might help, and then connect them all. Oh, welcome back, Fabs. Oh, thank you so much, Lafayette. Gotta get my eraser brush. Yeah, so if we erase the stems and kind of where these are supposed to all be connected and coming from the same thing. Ooh. Kind of connect them back up. Okay. Yeah, I think there's something here. There's something doable. I think we can make this look good, not just this kind of jumble that it was. Okay. I think we can add one like behind. So that can be behind everything. And we'll just kind of like shade that quietly. We'll do one behind here too. And here, just like to fill it out. Because I think part of what makes it look jumbled, ironically, is that it's sort of, it doesn't have like a shape. It's sort of like random. And even though coral kind of looks crazy. Oh, hey, Parla. Hey, Timber. Hey, Parla Timber. Yeah, I love drawing. I think it's so fun. I think it's relaxing. What's your favorite thing to draw? Okay. And then these ones that are in front, let's really, like I did with the last ones, let's darken them up. Let's get the outlines really like solid. Yeah, my favorite thing to draw. Oh, bows and hearts. That's really good. I think mine might be animals doing human-y things. Oh, dragons. Yeah. Burgosaurus got, that's smart. I drew some dragons recently. I had not drawn any, maybe since ever, or maybe since I was a kid. And it was fun. I drew like a Eastern dragon, a Western dragon. Okay, I think this is coming together. This is looking much more um, corally. Hey, Nasir. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing a sea coral scene where octopus, little cartoon octopus, are going to be hiding. That's what we're drawing now. Oh, thank you so much. That means so much to me, Nasir. Oh, fun. Uh, Burgosaurus, a card. All right, yeah, I think this coral is coming together. Mushrooms is very good. Mushrooms, I wish I could draw mushrooms better. I like drawing mushrooms. Um, my favorite part of drawing, though, and I wonder if anybody else experiences this, is like when you are drawing and you enter into the flow state, and you're just like, time stops moving and or stops being important, and you're not easily distracted. Your brain isn't thinking about anything. You're just kind of going. Hey, Nasir. Again. Hi. I might be lagged. I know when I do the computer videos, I have it set to low latency. But when I stream at my desk, I have to use um, my phone. And the latency is pretty bad. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Postar. I have been drawing seriously every day for about 3 years, and it's not complicated stuff, but I just make sure I actually sit down and draw every day. Maybe a little bit more, like 3, 4 years. But I've only been drawing seriously uh, for about 6 years. So I started more or less as an adult. No, I started as an adult. I did take some drawing classes in school, and it was something I always thought was interesting. So it's not like I wasn't doing it at all, but I wouldn't have considered my art good or um, anything like that. It was very simple, not quite stick figure, but I couldn't do figure drawing. This would have been totally beyond me. So about 6 years. Yeah, it is it is very hard to motivate. Um I draw a cartoon of two stuffies, and I draw that cartoon every day, and that has really helped me. And I have the support of my wife. She asked me what I wanted to do. If I could do anything, what did I want to do? And I was like, I think I want to be an illustrator. I think I would draw. I think that's what I would want to do. And she was like, all right, well then you better do it. And so that started me down the path. And you know what? One thing that really changed my perception. Thank you very much, Oddfud. I did draw a mean stick figure and nice ones. One thing that really changed my drawing is I thought I was really struggling because every piece of paper I wanted to be precious and perfect. And I read a piece of advice that was basically like, find the biggest, cheapest paper that you like to draw on and buy as much of it as you can and then use it. And I did that, and it changed how I draw. I draw on these 11 by 17, or like I think it's A3 paper. Uh, and I buy them in stacks of, I started buying them in stacks of 500, and now I buy them in cases of 250. It's a little bit cheaper per, but it's the cheapest, biggest paper that I feel comfortable drawing on. And it's changed my life. I draw on it all the time. For one pack of 500, I think it might be different now. How much, I'll tell you how much we got this last one for, which had the discount. And then we can go from there. No, it can't be right. Maybe it is. I think it's under 20 bucks. US. I'm not sure. If you shop around, you might be able to get cheaper, or you might like a different paper. You might feel more comfortable on a different type of paper. I'll tell you, what I use is it's a stack of HP paper. It's this guy. This is printer paper. It's 20 pound. This is like Office 20. It has a 92 brightness instead of a 95. But the reason I like it is the texture of the page has a really nice grip to pick up my pencil. Oh, I guess it was dirty. The coolest thing I have drawn in the last year. Now that is a question. Let's see, it's August. So this would be between now and last August. So since I got out of the hospital. So I did a series this year of illustrations called Animals and Hats. And I used to do this really clean, inked, like tried to imitate a comic book style. And it was okay. I wasn't bad at it. People liked it. I liked it. But my natural drawing style is more like what you see here. Oh, that's great. Okay, 20 bucks. Yeah, I was a little off. And I wasn't drawing in this style because I didn't think people would like it. I don't know why. But that was the idea I had, is that people wouldn't like this style of drawing. And somebody said, like, it would be cool if you drew a bear in a hat. And I was like, I haven't taken requests ever before, but let's go. I'll draw a bear in a hat. And I drew them in a Viking hat, and the Viking hat had a broken horn. And I left it in my pencil, scribbly kind of style, because I was like, this is just a request. I don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be good. It's just like to give them a present, to something simple. And they liked it so much. And then everybody liked it so much. And people were like, oh my God, I didn't know you could draw like this. Like my friends and my family. And I was like, this is, every drawing you've ever seen from me starts as this drawing, and then I ink it and I clean it up. I do other things to it. And they were like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And so I was like, okay. And I started drawing. I did a whole series of animals and hats in that style. And they were all requests I got from people. And yeah, I think that bear changed what I thought of Like it changed the style I drew things in. And so even though I don't think the bear is the best drawing I've done, I think it's maybe the coolest thing I've drawn in the last year, because that started me down doing like greeting cards that I was really proud of, and art. I was entered into an art print sale for Christmas last year that I did really, really well at, and people really liked buying it. There was like pictures of kids showing me their first artwork purchase ever, and it was my prints of my work, and that was so cool. And that actually was the bear. So I think the bear, yeah, not my favorite, but probably the coolest thing I have drawn in the last year because of how much of an effect it had on my life. Yeah, uh, I definitely take ideas. If you join the Discord, especially, there's like a whole channel for art discourse, and that I'll like if it's written down there, I'll definitely be able to like actually remember and see it. But yeah, if you have ideas for a drawing, feel free to let me know. You know, worst case is I don't have time for it, or I can't get to it. Best case, I think it's great and I steal your idea. I mean, I do your idea. I don't know what this is. I drew something like these. So I thought, that's coral. Okay. Oh yeah, there's these like kind of big coral. I think they must go with the tides or something. They don't. I'm having trouble talking. They don't. They look unnatural. That's not right. So they're like, it looks like kind of it like it can't hold itself up. And it's all these little tubes, and then they come to one little point in the ground. And they all grow up like this and make a platform. I guess where all the I don't know what animal it is or anything, but they all pop up. They must. I wonder if like animals pop out of here out of the tubes. Yeah, I this is definitely on my list of things to draw. I drew a deer like in a little bit of a forest. This is something that like I think I'm probably able to do. I think it would be a lot of work, a lively forest with a bunch of animals in it. Um, but I think it would be really fun. I think it would be worth it. One of my favorite graphic novels, or manga, I guess, actually, is Nausicaa, Princess of the Valley of the Wind, by Murakami. And like he does such beautiful forestscapes with these like insectoid animals, and it's just something I've always really loved. And so I've always wanted to do some sort of, if not like a realistic forest scene, a whimsical forest. So yeah, that is a lovely idea. It's definitely on my list of things to do, and has been. Um, I feel even this that I'm drawing now, I felt really overwhelmed just thinking about it. I wasn't sure if it would be if I would be able to do like a seascape like this on a live stream. I thought like it was gonna be bad and I'd be too embarrassed, and so I thought about not doing it, but I did some sketches and that helped me. So, but that gives me hope that I would be better able to do um, a forest scene. One of my favorite things are like the fairies, when the little fairy houses and stuff. I would love to live like near a national park or something and just like construct little ferry doors or like little windows, like ferry windows, and go like find little tiny like tree stumps or something and stick these on them, give them like a little walkway. I don't know. I think that would be so much fun. And then like somebody would find them and be like, "Whoa, someone did a lot of work for the forest to look pretty." Uh, we were also talking if we ever get a house or something we can work on, that would be really fun to do little like in the walls, like little tiny, instead of mouse doors, do little tiny like fairy doors or like borrower doors. And you can even, if you own the house, you can cut the um, an artist protesting against AI and calling it slop. Protesting against AI slop, right? Not oh, the artist would be calling AI slop, yeah. I'll put this aside for a second. Oh, I drew hard. That's fine. Let's do exactly that. Okay. We can do. So, I'm bad at drawing people. But let's do like a fashion person. They're slightly easier, like a fashion illustration. You do the shoulders one way, the hips another, and you have like the legs come down, and then we'll have them like holding the sign in a very like proper, am I on camera? Yeah, proper manner. Okay. And it'll just say, it'll say stop the slop, right? And we can even make it a little bit better. We'll have it have like a little illustration in it. Up. And it'll be like a bowl, but like of soup, of like messy soup. But instead of soup, we'll have like a computer window, a browser window in there. We'll have some like paint brushes. We'll have a couple of pencils sticking out the side, out the back. We'll have like the remnants of like a really fancy framed painting. We'll have like the foot of Michelangelo's David. It'll be like all of history's art, all the masters. We'll have like the Scream. We'll have Dolly's melting clock coming out the side. That's a paintbrush, yeah. And it'll say stop the slop. How many drawings have I done in the last 2 years? Well, so I drew at least one drawing every single day, and most of the time it's two. I'd say on average I do 2 drawings every single day. So at least, at the bare minimum, that's my, if I do no other drawings, I draw 2 a day at the end of the day. So the estimate for that would be what, 600, 1200, and 12, 13, 14 something, 1,500 drawings. I'd say that's the 1,400 drawings is the floor. I'd say 100% I drew that many. Yeah, and then I do sketches and drawings and inkings for Inktober, and that's 30 extra drawings there. And then this year I did Sketch a Day May, where I sketched something every day in May. And usually I did more than one sketch. I did 2 or 3. So we're looking closer to probably 2,000. I definitely went through 2,000 sheets of these paper in the last 2 years. Gosh, actually, I probably went through 2,000 sheets of paper in the last year and a half. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is a lot. I really, it's become a way of life. This guy will be bearded like me. But unlike me, he'll be angry. He's mad about the AI stealing his job. Or, making art for worse for everybody. I got married 6 years ago, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Yeah, that's right. I don't have to keep checking. It's on. Oh, yeah. Alright, oh well. That's supposed to be for shortening. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot I drew his hips sidewards. Crooked. So this hip is lower, so we'll give him we'll have his leg bent, his knee bent. He's standing on the tip of his toe. And then this one's straight, because this hip is higher. He's not having it bent, and he's standing on his full foot. Yeah, I'm sure that comes across in this tiny sketch. He's wearing a... That's pretty good. That's as good as I get. That would be a fun drawing to do, like, in full, instead of just a sketch. But I think that sketch is a good idea. Yeah, yeah. We were high school sweethearts. That's a lot of what the long videos on this channel are. Interviews and stuff of both of us, my wife and I, talking about stuff, and we were high school sweethearts. And so we've known each other for even longer than that. Our first date, gosh, our first date was 21 and a half years ago. Our first official date. And before that, we were in a good math class together. I mean, I had seen her before. It was a grade above her, and she was in school in the high school. She was like in the area by me for some advanced math class, and I saw her like in the hallway. Her friend was talking to my teacher, and she was shyly standing in the doorway. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is that person? I don't know, my brain is not functioning correctly. And then we met officially the next year in math class, where my math teacher thought I was a troublemaker and like was bad at math, even though I aced every test. Um, just didn't like my attitude, I guess. She sat me next to my wife, Atfad, in order to like get me to behave. And I was like, cool, sweet, I'll sit there. And instead of getting me to behave, I got her and her friend Ben to misbehave. Because of course I did. Because we weren't doing anything wrong. We were all very smart, and we already knew most of the stuff. And it was fun to learn it together and talk about it together. And that was the start of a beautiful friendship. I remember, one thing I remember that was really nice is we used to, in English class, we had trouble. I had trouble. I don't want to speak for her. I had trouble learning Shakespeare. Like, I just couldn't read it. I was an avid reader. Whoops. I was an avid reader, but I was not able to sit down and really, like, read Shakespeare and just get it done. So we decided to start having a phone call. And I think the initial excuse was, oh, we'll read Shakespeare together and that'll really help because it's meant to be read as a play. And it really, really did help. I I understood Shakespeare so much better just reading it out loud to each other. And then from there, we really just kind of, we never stopped having that phone call. And once a week, we would talk on the phone and we would text all the time. Uh, and then we dated eventually. And then we broke up and we went to college. And then we got back together and then we got married. Yeah, AIM is texting. Um, yeah, I think lots of stuff is like that, right? Like, I think lots of stuff is like that. I think that's hard. Like I didn't want to break up with Odd Fudd, but um, it felt like it was the only thing to be done at the time. And like looking back, does that make sense? Is that true? Probably not. We were young. We didn't really understand everything that we were able to do and uh, what the world was like. But I do think that it was for the better because I think we both got to know ourselves. Well, I don't want to speak for her again. I personally think that I I learned about myself better than I ever could have, and because of that was able to like be a good boyfriend and eventually be a good husband. And I don't know if I would have been able to if I didn't take that time to go and learn about myself. Hey, Elstefan. Welcome back. All right, so this is looking pretty good. I want to add another um, coral bit. There's a couple more that I think look really nice. Okay, so like there's this, can you guys see this? This little grassy blip. I think those are really nice. And then there's these like kind of big, sort of like mutated jumping, not jumping jacks, mutated jacks. Uh, I think we could get maybe one of those over here. Maybe some of the grasses, the little grass guys in front. There's these, but I don't remember what this is. Like, I didn't really do a good, oh wait, I remember. These are like they're basically like flowers, but instead of being petals, it's like a whole bunch of little spiky, tubey. It's like these things, but mini, very, very small. Those are cool. Maybe I'll put one of those somewhere. And they were in little groups. Okay. Yeah, I'll do one of those. And then there's a couple different seagrasses. I've done this type of seagrass, but I could do this kind and this kind. I think that would be good. And then this, I want to do that. Okay. So, where should we add? Oh yeah, I do have some of that first seagrass. We'll have it like, let's have it blowing in the wind. I don't know what the wind is called in the ocean. The current. Let's have it blowing in the current. That's fine. I don't need to be specific. All right. Oh yeah, I want to add one of those big bloopy things. I think back here is kind of nice. Okay. It looks like they're mostly like they come out and then they split into two. I'm going to use the spiral technique, which makes them, which basically, like if I want to draw a tube and I don't, and it's like going to do some sort of direction, I just draw like a spiral of the tube, and then I know like, okay, this is the start, and I can envision it better and be like, that's where it ends. And that's the spiral technique. I did a bad job, but I think you get the idea. Yeah. English is my only language. I have tried to learn I know Spanish a little bit. I think I could squeak by in Spanish if I really had to, and I've had to in certain situations. But I'm not comfortable with Spanish, and we lived in Pennsylvania, and nobody knew any Spanish. We grew up in New York, and most people know a little bit of Spanish. But when we moved to Pennsylvania, man, if you said like adios, people were like, what's happening? Why are you, what's going on? And so I lost a lot of my Spanish proficiency. But I tried to learn Japanese, and I could read like not kanji, but I could read katakana for a little while. But then I'm out of practice. And I tried to learn Chinese, and I just ended up learning a lot about learning Chinese, and a lot about like the history of the language and stuff. But I didn't really learn any Chinese at all. Um, but yeah, I only did like a year on each. I'd say actually maybe 6 months for Chinese and Japanese. But my Spanish vocab isn't great, and like my tenses aren't very good. But I often can squeeze translate Spanish enough that I know what's going on. But like I said, I wouldn't say I'm fluent, and I'm far from it. And I'm not even comfortable. So yes, English is my only language. But I know a lot of math, the universal language. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I very much like languages, and I would like to learn it. And I think that if I ever had the opportunity um, to interact regularly with somebody who spoke a different language, um, I would try to learn again. My sister and my father are both fluent in Spanish, but that was after they both became fluent in Spanish, like after we weren't living together anymore. Okay. okay, I like this. I want to like figure out a way to make it look big and further back. So maybe on the computer, if I edit this, I'll just push it up a little bit. But let's see if we can do something here for that right now. You can make it like, if this is lying in the sand, $250 minus 50 times 2 plus 50. So you do 50 times 2, which is 100, and then you go left to right, right? So 250 minus 100 is 150 plus 50 is 200. So at first glance, without writing anything down, I think that's 200. Yeah, because plus and minus can go either way. So 2 times 50 is 100, 150. Wait, I said 200? That can't be right. It's not. Wait. Oh, it's one of these. Is it really that tricky? Hang on. Now I am writing it down. So the way I was taught math, so I think a mathematician would tell you that this is unclear. It should have more parentheses. But basically the way I was taught math was you do 250, 50 times 2 plus 50. And you always do the multiplication first. So this turns into 100, and then what you have is 250 minus 100 plus 50. So you can do these in any order because it doesn't matter. They will, no matter which order you do these in, they will always come out to be the same. Is that true or it's not true? You have plus 50, negative 100, and plus 250. And you add these together, like, it is true. It can get tricky because if you add 50 to 100 and then minus that from 250, that's wrong, because it's not, you can't add 50 to 100. This is negative 100. So you have to add 50 to negative 100, which makes this negative 50. And negative 50 and 250 is 200. Yeah. But I think a computer might do that all sorts of ways. Although probably the addition it would do fine on, because in computer science you separate them out into their own distinct terms and then you add everything together even if it has a negative sign. You're just adding negative numbers. That's what minusing is. But I think with the multiplication and having it written out that way, it can be manipulated to make it lots of different things. And if you were writing a program, for instance, which is where I use a lot of my math, you would want to write it as a way to make it 250 and minus 50. If you want to start with 250 minus 50, you put that in parentheses, and then you say times 2 plus 50. And then if you want to do 2 plus 50 first, you would put this in parentheses, but you might want to do it like this and put that in parentheses also. And then wherever you put the parentheses, that will change the answer. And so in computer science, in most programming languages, if you're doing more than one operation in one line, you just have to put parentheses in, because computers are dumb. They don't know what you mean. And even in different countries, sometimes they have different mathematical like traditions and stuff. And so it's not always clear even to mathematicians what you might mean. That's why they have a formal math like language and system of writing equations down and stuff, because there could be anything. If you start with 250 minus 50, I forgot, I didn't finish that. But if you start with 250 minus 50 and you assume it's then 200 times 2, then it's 400, and then it's plus 50, so it's 450. But if you assume it's 50 plus 2 times 200, then it's 52 times 200, and that's 104, 104,000? 10400. No, 200. So it's, no, yeah, 10400. So 10,400 if you do it in that direction. Yeah. If you go strictly left from right, which, like I said, a lot of computers might do, then you get 450, right? Right, of course. Get away from math. Okay, I got this guy. I like that. I think we'll do like a kind of a lumpy rock back here, because I accidentally drew one and I think it looks nice. And we can do, like, if it's craggly, we can like add some shadows in here. Remember, I think my sun is coming from this direction. So if we add some like shadows along the edge and like underneath, then like the rock will look like it's coming out, and it has like shelves, and that can be nice. Just make it like something complicated, something fish would like to hang out in, and give it some caves, some little hidey holes. Behind us here. And make it very corally. So we won't have too much shadow on this side, because that's the direction of the sunlight. And it's not like from here and then here and then here. The way sunlight works is it's just this direction across the entire page. It's just parallel lines coming straight down. So it's always, no matter where we're drawing, it's always from this top left direction. Even if you're drawing something over here, it's still from that top left direction. That took me a while to like wrap my head around. But I guess the sun is, I don't guess, the sun is so far away that even though it is a point in the sky, like they're all coming from somewhere along there, it's so far away that the light that hits us is all traveling in essentially parallel lines. Okay, I think this is pretty good. We'll probably darken this whole thing up just to separate it out from the stuff in front of it, and to make it like cohesive so you can see what's, yeah, I like that a lot. And then these like sea grass, they will probably also be dark, but I will leave them like clear for now so that they can take a lot of color if and when I give them a color later. So I don't have to like color over like other pencil or something. And you probably have some. And then I wanted to do one of those little guys, and they basically are just like a bunch of little grass all kind of sticking up and falling out, sort of like a koosh ball or a spider plant, a malmadre. Okay, you know, this is not what I have written here, so maybe I'll change this. What I have here, what I took a sketch of, is more like standy uppy, not so much droopy whoopy. So let's undroopify this and have it be more standy uppy. Kind of like it's floating in the It'll be denser in the center because we're looking through more of it. And there'll be less of it on the edges because there's less of it. Just like any circle, the thickest part is in the center, right? Because basically we're looking from here, and it's a bunch of grass growing in all these directions. So all this will be pretty thick, and on the edges it's not so bad. So that's what I'm trying to make sure I draw, make sure I capture. That's pretty good. And there was one more corally thing I wanted to, oh yeah, those tiny little like flowery guys. Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, I can draw a cake in a little while, in a little bit. I'm gonna do some of these little flowery guys, then I'll do a quick cake, and I'll do some finishing touches. I'll do a quick cake, and that'll be the I'll end it there. But first let's get these little flowery guys in. So they were appearing like bouquets, sort of. So I'm gonna do like 2 bouquets. We'll do 3 little kind of that, and I don't know what, we'll just have them coming out of the ground. I don't know what they were coming out of. I think they were just sitting along the ground and we couldn't see the inside. So we'll do the frontmost one first so we don't have to erase so much. And we're just going to draw some really rough, like circle-ish things that follow the shape of this dome that I've constructed. And they're not a single, each one of these circles are not like single entities. They're not one shape, but they're actually a bunch of little tiny tubes that are coming up. But I'll add some texture after to get that. And I think like this one's pointing right at us. We don't want that. We want this to be more, even these ones should all be kind of pointing up, because they're probably going for the sunlight is my guess. Or they're going for like animals that swim by, which would also be up. None of them are pointing out. They're all pointing up. So let's make sure I get, or basically up. So let's make sure I get that. And do some, I kind of messed up on the last one, so I'm just kind of doing some, not reference, but like anchor ones. So I make sure I get like the right shape throughout the dome. Oh yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah, these, when I think in the photos I was looking at, these were pretty red. But I was also reading that you have to be careful judging color by those like photos of the coral reef and stuff, because there's not a lot of sun down there, and so almost every photo gets color corrected, and like depending on what they're trying to do with it, it might be color corrected just to look really pretty instead of to represent accuracy. Like, that's okay. I'm also drawing something that I want to look really pretty instead of represent accuracy, but I just want to make sure that I know what colors are what colors. I think these are pretty interesting. Let's erase this little background guy right here. Okay, so what did I have on the sketch? I just have little like dots and flops. Okay, that's not very good. So let's Let's just kind of go with it and see where it takes us. I was thinking maybe just like kind of like a rough, almost like flower petals. I can't remember what flower, or like the bits of a brain. And it's just enough to separate out a bunch of little spots, that so you can kind of see that it's a bunch of little tubes, or that your brain can kind of guess that it's a bunch of little tubes, but not enough that I have to go in there and draw a bunch of little tubes. I don't think that's valuable for anybody. Okay, I think this is pretty good. This feels okay. I'll give us some dark lines here, kind of separate out the circles while I still have them, or the individual spots. I guess each one of these circles is probably all grows off of one, like, stem, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I don't know, because corals are living, right? I mean, some of the, like, formations and stuff are, like, bone that's left over from the living creatures that made up coral. But, like, coral is built by animals. And just, like, really small animals. So it's like, they're not plants. They're like, baby teeth or something. I don't know. Oh, is the sound bad? Is it better now? I think I was just talking funny. Okay. I don't hate this. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I noticed a sound issue like a thump on one of my other live streams when I was downloading the recording to make shorts out of it. So I don't hate this, but I don't really like it either. So I might leave these the way they are and rely on coloring to make them look good or better. Yeah, is this uh yeah, I wonder if I hit the microphone. I mean, it's just my phone. I'm like in a different position. I was over here before. I don't know if that helps or that means anything. So I'm just going to finish up some of the seagrass to make it look like it's actually there and not just thrown in on a whim, which it was. I'll probably, I don't know. I have some of the seagrass like blowing in the current and some not, and that's silly. So I'll probably take the stuff that's not out. I'll probably add another couple of these little, well, I'll just add one now. These little guys. It is a little funny that I just have one of everything. So I'll probably do a little something else. Maybe I'll put one of these guys like in the back here. And I'll do, oh yeah, I really like this seagrass. I might do more of that seagrass. Like over here. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out exactly, but maybe some shells, a little clam. And oysters are so, like, clam shells are nice and smooth and like big and round. And then oyster shells are like flat and angry and messy. I don't know why. I've never looked it up. This is a clamshell. Nice and calm and smooth. Not all clamshells, but the common clamshell. Big fat hinge. Oyster shell. I wonder if there's a metaphor there about being like messy and making pearls. All right. I am not hating this at all. I'm liking it actually. I think there's a lot of like little details that could be added in, but I think I'm just going over the basics, which isn't a bad thing. It's nice to like continue to look at things and improve upon them, but I think I'm done drawing this for the day. You know what I'm going to do though? I will add in little like hints about where I think an octopus would go. I think one here would be clever and cute. Little octopus family. This could be a brother. I'll have him like wrapping his tentacles around here. I think one back here, we've already drawn it. This could be a sister. I don't know why. Put a little bow on. We could have a tentacle come in and like mirror the curve, just like right inside like this. I think that could be cute. There we go. Something like that, or even up top, but that doesn't have to be decided right now. I think those are two good spots. Oh, I like here as one. Peeking their head over the top, and they have some of their tentacles like coming up on the side, mirroring the grass or whatever this stuff is. I think that's really good. It's a nice place to hide an octopus. And then I think we can do one just like back behind everything, or like right in front looking like a starfish. These are two things octopus really do. Is they hide in caves and they try to look like starfish. Yeah, we definitely need one more. If we're gonna do like a kids book family trope, I think we need, well, actually three: mom, dad, sister, mom, dad, little sister, or mom, dad, big brother, or something like that. So that's not terrible, but, and we can always introduce more octopus later. And we can always just stick one like back here looking like not very good at hiding, or like waving its arms up in the air like seagrass, and having like there be seagrass in front of it. But like, yeah, something like that. I think that's really good. So I think this turned out very nice. I think we'll do some more cleanup on this. get some more, I'll get some references and throw some shells in. When I'm feeling a little bit more energetic, I'll do some more detail work and cleanup work, get the eraser to work in here, separating some things out, maybe even scanning it in. We have, this will be Blub Blub, and then his, what's his name? Oh yeah, happy birthday, Nasir. Let's get you your cake. Thank you for subscribing. Every subscriber is a cool guy or girl, or they them. All right. Let's see. I know. I'll do. Why? I don't want to be too precious, but I do want to be straight. Straight on. I don't want your cake to fall off the plate. Okay. It's pretty straight. And then we'll go straight up and down. For the center, we'll have the bottom. Yeah, okay. We'll have the bottom be a little roundy. We'll have the middle top be a little roundy. We'll have the top be a little icing. We'll have the candle sticking out sidewards. We'll have the fire going straight up because that's what fire always does. It doesn't care about your feelings or your direction. Little birthday candle action. Okay. Yeah, and I've been thinking I really want to make some sweets, like a pie or some cake or brownies. Dang. Where's the... Seems right. What's going on? Does it just end here? Let's see. Sometimes I regret not busting out the measurements, but mostly it's fine. I get a little particular if I do too much measuring. This looks okay. Okay, we'll get some cake lines, some, what are these? Cupcake lines. There we go. That looks fine. Do not like sprinkles, but like it's like a cake decoration. I mean, I guess a candle is a cake decoration. I guess we'll do like a cherry, like a candy cherry. Oh, strawberry. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we can do like a strawberry that's been cut in half, right? So it has like that delicious looking pretty inside. And it'll be stuck into the icing. Like that. This will be, I guess, darker. This will be lighter, and this will be lightly darker. Yeah. And then they'll be like, they'll keep the green part on because it looks impressive. Gosh, I cannot remember what strawberry leaves look like. There we go. Strawberry. I should have just done it with the seeds, but this is good too. We all know what strawberries look like cut in half. It's this. It's a perfect representation. Whoa, I grabbed the wrong pencil. Okay. Just imagine this gray is red. This other gray is lighter red. This gray is darker red. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a strawberry leaf. There it is. All right. Well, actually, let's like bring this strawberry stuck into the icing a little bit more into the icing. Like got it's like behind the horizon. Looks weird. Okay, that's a lot better. All right. You want to blow out the candle? All right. Do it to it. That's great. Happy birthday, Nasir. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being here. You made my day. We'll hopefully see you again. See you again next time. All right. Bye. That's the wrong phone.